It's going live. Hi, guys. It's Michelle Jones here, and we are live. We're live with the legendary Mahela Jayawardena, who came and is joining us at 7:30 in the morning in Colombo, Sri Lanka. Hi, Mahela.
Hi, Michelle. Hi. Good to see you again.
Oh, lovely to see you again. So, Mahela, I was giving Mahela a bit of a preview of what I was going to say today, but I don't know if you remember when the first time was that we met.
Um, I have a vague memory. I Cinnamon
I'm
Grand
putting
Hotel.
you, I'm putting you on the spot. Okay, so um,
It was a
I think
2012 T20 World Cup. I remember that. Yeah.
it was actually in 2011 that we met, and it was in a reception at the Australian High Commission in Colombo. And it was so funny because I don't know if you remember, but I knew very little about cricket, and it's my husband and my kids who love cricket, and I'm kind of like the person in default who had to know about cricket, but I really can't say I know about cricket because Adam would actually tell me when we were in Australia, okay, turn that cricket on. There's a 5-day cricket, and I need you to tell me what's going on. So every now and then he'd call me to just tell him what the score is, who'd had the runs. So it's like literally running to the TV, watching, looking at the highlights, and telling him what's happening. But I had no clue what was going on. Until the first time we watched cricket in Colombo, which is crazy. I love Colombo because everyone loves cricket.
Yeah, it is a big sport in Colombo, and not just Colombo, everywhere in Sri Lanka. So, as kids, we grew up playing cricket, and I think it's a passion, especially the subcontinent. I think cricket is massive. India, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Bangladesh. So yeah, I mean it's probably second to our religious activities, but other than that, I think cricket is big.
That's right. And I think the thing to note as well is anywhere you go in Colombo, they've got cricket. You go to the supermarkets and they've got cricket playing on the TV. Like I've never been to any other country that had that. That was crazy. And you know, um, every spare like driveway, field on a weekend, you'll see kids and adults playing cricket.
Yeah, it is. I think that's what I said. Like it's a passion, and nowadays the things have changed a little bit. I think the kids nowadays are more into their games and other stuff, so they're not so much outdoors. But if you go out of Colombo into the suburbs and to the villages, I think any paddy field anywhere they could find space, they'll be playing cricket. Football, soccer is getting popular in this part of the world now as well. So Sri Lanka is slightly moving towards that, but still, I think cricket is the number one.
That's right. So I wouldn't be surprised if most of the people watching us are cricket fanatics, and I do say that with love in my heart when I say cricket crazy or cricket fanatic because again, as I said, my husband is number one crazy cricketer. He has a collection of cricket bats, and I'm sure you know about this because he talks about his bats all the time with you guys. And it's you think that he's actually going to be playing a game like you, and I remember I would actually say stuff like, well, you're not Mahela, you're not you're not Ricky Ponting, you're not going to be playing cricket, you don't need like seven. I think he's got something like 7 to 10 cricket bats in his collection.
Yeah,
Crazy.
I remember Adam as well. I think he's one of those guys who loves his cricket. I think a lot of Indians do. Um, Same in England, same in Sri Lanka. Whoever loves cricket just loves cricket. You can't get out of it. It's just like that.
That's right. Well, for those of you that aren't familiar with cricket, and you know what, don't be ashamed and don't feel sorry because I was that way. But cricket is one of those games that really needs stamina. It needs you to prep yourself because you're playing in extreme temperatures. It could be like really, really cold if you're playing in England in winter. And it could also be really, really hot when you're playing in Colombo or India. And I saw one of the quotes that you actually put, and you said, "There's no fear on the field. There's no such thing. There's nothing that we can't do as long as we prep ourselves physically and mentally." And I love that because in this day, well, today, right now, while we're going through all these dramas and all these fears with COVID, we have to really have that positive mindset, knowing that, this will be okay, it'll be over, we'll be okay, and things can go on smoothly. But could you just share with us, like, what goes on when you prep yourself? How do you actually prep yourself?
Well, I think I learned something when I was quite young. When I started playing cricket, there's one of the ex cricketers from South Africa who had a stint with Sri Lanka who told me once, saying that try and control things you, and that actually stayed with me for a long time and actually helped me to develop as a better cricketer, as a better person as well. It's quite simple. I think sometimes we tend to spend a lot of time thinking about stuff that we cannot actually control. So prepping ourselves is meaning that we are actually within our control, and say conditions or whatever the country that we go to play cricket, the conditions are different. Like you said, the temperatures can be different, the wickets, the players, everything's different. So you technically you have to be different, tactically you have to be different. So you're preparing yourself to adapt to that. So when you're doing that, you have to be within your limitations, within your control, and practice accordingly. So you are actually controlling environment around you so that you're ready for that challenge. So it's same in life. I think right now with the current situation that we're in, I think we all have to be self-disciplined in this situation, and realize that we make sure that we adhere to the guidelines, and then try and help others who need the help. So it's all within your boundaries, within your limitations, and trying to control things you can control. And I believe that COVID has probably given us a good lesson in life as well, to try and be simpler in life.
Mm.
Actually, I've realized, like, 3 months, being in lockdown for about, out of that 3 months, about 6 or 8 weeks we've been in lockdown, and how good it is to be actually at home, and not travel and not be in the rat race.
That's right.
um, I just spending time with family and friends. So it's been fantastic.
That's right. So true. And your lockdowns are crazy. I had friends and we were texting a lot on what was happening. And, I it was so long, and you had very short bursts of when you could actually go out and get your necessities. So that was full on.
Yeah, it was. I think Sri Lanka went in a different way. They went like with you as well. So it's not a typical lockdown where you can do your groceries and you can go to your shops and visit people. That you're literally indoors for that period. So actually the government did a great job with that, because they managed to control the clusters and control the spread of the virus very quickly. And after 6 weeks they slowly lifted that. So we had people delivering stuff to your homes and various other ways, and we Sri Lankans had to actually uh, you know had to be different. I think I was laughing at my parents and all of them. I mean, they're not tech savvy, but during the lockdown, they all have to download their WhatsApp and all these apps and all that to order stuff online, and it was great. And now I can't get them off my WhatsApp and videos and stuff like that. It's crazy. So it's been fascinating to see the changes in that older generation, what they had to go through during this period. But I think they all had fun.
That's right. Okay, so just before we continue with the questions, guys, if you type your questions, I'll be able to actually share them, or even comments or your greetings, I'll be able to share them with Mahela. So I've got here, and this is Adam using Michelle Bonko Jones, and he's saying, "Hey Mahela, I am a crazy cricketer." So we do know that, sweetie. So guys, if you do the same, I'll be able to share your messages. All right. So you are an amazing cricketer, and you are a world record holder. So you have the highest test innings by a right-hander. This is so impressive. You had, what was your score? You were batting for 11 hours, 2 days. And I was sharing earlier in my live that although you were just batting for 2 days, and it's not a just actually, you were crazy batting for 2 days, you were actually on the field for five, right? Because you had to do the fielding as well, aside from the batting. Um, how does that feel? What are you thinking, like when you're there and you're thirsty and you're hot, and obviously adrenaline's pumping because you and Kumar were just on a roll. But what was going on in your mind, and how were you feeling?
Well, I think, like you rightly said, it's just the adrenaline. I think when you are competing with another country and on the field, if I forget about everything else, it just the instincts kicks in, and you just play the game. And that occasion, that match was something special. I think Sangha and I will probably never forget that, the whole experience, the world record partnership, and then I've been able to go past few legends of the game to get to that milestone of 374. So yeah, I think it just it you don't plan those things, it just happens. But I think after that 5 days of test cricket, and when you sit back and enjoy that, I think that's when you really realize how sweet that whole 5 days was. And even to date, I think when people talk about it, it's just it's just pure satisfaction. But at that moment, I think you're just in a bubble, you're just competing, you're trying to beat the other team. So you don't think that much. But later on, you like sitting with a cup of coffee and then think about it. Quite nice.
Yeah, I was watching that. I did not realize how many bat changes happens, and even the gloves. You guys keep changing your gloves during that game, and I'm thinking, oh my God, it's probably because it's so hot. They're all sweaty. And but when that's happening, is there ever a point of a little bit of panic, or do you doubt yourself, or do you have fear popping in your head when that happens?
No, not really. I think it is uh, mentally and physically it is tough out there. I mean, especially the conditions in Sri Lanka during the hot summer. It will be like 36, 37, and pretty humid as well. So, I mean, that's what we train for, to be out there and try and get through that period. So no, I think you're right. Keep changing gloves, and try and get as much hydrated as possible during innings like that. But it's just all part of the game, and that's something that, like you earlier said, just preparation. As long as you prep yourself properly to be in that, then you'll be fine.
So, do you actually have like a diet regimen that you go through to be able to keep yourself, fit and active? I mean, I have to ask this question because I know one of your businesses is a the crab place with Kumar and with Ethan there. I love that place. So I'm thinking, what, what, how do you prepare for it? There's a lot. Some people put in a lot of protein or pack a lot of protein through meats. Sri Lankans love their seafood. What is it that you love, and how do you prep?
Well, I think I'm retired now for about good 5 years, so I'm indulging in all the goodies, and that's not a great going right now. But I think while we were playing, we had to look after ourselves, make sure that we got a very balanced diet. Yeah, I mean, we're an island nation, so therefore we get really really good seafood. We get really fresh seafood. So I love my seafood, so it's just something that I very much enjoy. Um, yes, when we were playing, we used to eat a bit of meat because you need that bit of protein in supplement. But I think it's a, it all depends. It's a fresh, balanced diet. I think good vegetables, good fruits, and good carbs. And for us, the biggest thing was hydration, because play in the sun, and you tend to let go of a lot of fluid. So it's all about hydration. And we were big on king coconut tambili, which is gives
Yeah.
you a lot of vitamins and minerals in that. So when we were playing, I remember we used to really quench our thirst on that, because that really gives you that instant energy that you need, and the supplements. So yeah, I mean, it's there are perks when you're in an island nation. There's absolutely good perks, and you need to enjoy that.
You were coaching India. We were talking about this earlier. So you were coaching Mumbai. You were coaching what's that, Bangalore? Sorry, can't remember. This is my non-cricket mind.
Yeah,
But
Mumbai IPL team, yes.
okay. And when you do that, when you coach them, do you actually give them a diet to follow? I do know that in cricket, you guys have your nutritionists and you've got your physios, you've got the whole range. But is there something that you actually add on to that for them to follow in terms of, a diet that you've found effective for you?
No, I think in modern day, I think every phase that there's new methods being introduced. So we do have a nutrition in our camp. We have a fitness trainers and all that. So, and the thing is, like, the diets can be different to individuals as well, depending on their body mass and how they react to certain things. I mean, you can't force feed someone certain items if they don't like it. So you need to have substitute that. So, and especially in an IPL, you get guys coming from all over the world. Like in our team, we have guys from New Zealand, Australia, South Africa, West Indies, a Sri Lankan, and then the Indian boys. So you have to cater to their palates as well, depending on what are the food that you can have. But the modern day cricketers are very disciplined. I think they understand that the diet is important, that um, their fitness is important. So it's quite easy to manage those requirements.
Awesome. Just a question. One of the things that I loved about Colombo when we were living there is you actually train your cricketers quite young. In fact, when we were there, my son was so young, so he was in the youngest part of the cricket coaching group. What would you advise young cricketers who look up to you about how they can prep themselves both mentally and physically to become a legend like you?
Well, I think, like you said, because cricket is a huge passion here, the parents tend to put their kids for classes when they're pretty young. But you have to understand that, when they're really young, that they don't get exposed to leather ball cricket too early, because sometimes they do get hit few times, and then that fear gets into them. So it's mainly softball cricket initially with the tennis ball, and it's just purely having fun. And later on, when they get a bit older, when they're 12, 13, that's when you actually go on with, full on cricket. So, I mean, it is competitive these days. I think even schools cricket, the competition and everything is highly competitive, trying to get through the ranks. But I remember when we were playing, it was just fun, just having fun with the guys in your team, and trying to win matches and enjoying that. I think you need to go back to that enjoyment factor, especially when you're a kid playing a sport, any sport for that matter, not just cricket. Um, that enjoyment plays a huge part in your development, to be a better sportsman, to understand the game as well. I think sometimes you, you learn life lessons through sports, the good times and the bad times. When you lose a game, how do you accept that, how do you accept all the lows in life, and try and move on. So I think as a kid, I think the important thing is to have fun, enjoy your sport, and then and work hard at it. I think there are no shortcuts. You need to put in the shift to make sure that you get better.
That's right. I love that. Awesome. Having fun is something that people sometimes forget because they're, trying to be the best of what they can and they've lost the ability to have fun. So I love that. Mahela, Colombo is a big community that really believes in meditation, and I think it comes from both the Hindu and the Buddhist side of the nation, right? Is it something that you do or you practice, and is it something that uh, a lot of people, I guess, in your family would be doing?
Um, I mean, I come from a Buddhist background. My parents, and obviously I'm a Buddhist, and I mean we do go to the temple, and then we do meditate for a short periods of time. Not intense, but it's just something to just calm your mind and self. But as a sportsman, it's not that you go out and you try and meditate. But I think one of the situations is that you go through in your mind that the situations that you can be, and go through that process in your head. That is also some sort of meditation, in the sense that you actually walk into a bubble, and you're trying to uh, get yourself ready for a big game. So yeah, but like you say, in general, because of our culture, the Buddhism and all that, a lot of people tend to observe meditation, and it's a very calming, soothing practice for you to actually, concentrate on your energy, and make sure that you focus on things that you need in life. So it's a very simple method, but I think it's a very proactive way of living life.
Awesome. Yeah, I love that. I love the culture in Colombo. It was funny because we lived in Colombo right after we lived in Korea. So if you can imagine, in Korea, everything was so fast paced, and then we go to Colombo and everything was just so slow. And I was thinking, oh my God, these Sri Lankans. But it's actually quite a nice lifestyle where you realize that you don't have to rush towards everything. That there's actually a good in just being mindful of every single movement that you do and everything that you take on. And I think that's what I've learned from my stay there. Obviously, the Sri Lankans are so hospitable, and so like they just embrace everyone that comes into the country. So I just love that about them. Um, Mahela, if you were to give like three sets of advice for anyone wanting to be fit, to achieve optimal health, to be able to think clear, what would be those three things?
Well, I think first of all, it's the self discipline. I think that's the most important thing. You need to have a lifestyle. You need to have that discipline, um, uh, you know, engraved to you, because it's just that um, a lot of elements comes with discipline, the time management. Make sure that you're focused on your work, all that, and at the same time the the time that you put into your family and friends and all that. So all that comes in with that discipline. And then the other thing, like I said earlier, I I always practice that sentiment that I have, saying that to control what I can control. So that gives you much more focus in life, and you don't waste time on other stuff. Basically, you try and manage things accordingly. So those two are very important, and then obviously hard work. I think there are no substitute for hard work, whether it be in corporate world, or whether it will be in sport or day to day life. I think you need to be able to um, work on things, and have that focus and discipline to push it through. So I think those are the three most important things, I guess, in life, that that I've learned. I realized that what works for me.
I love that. I love that. I've written them down here so that everyone can see it again. So self-discipline with time management and balance, control what you can control, and hard work. That's right. Because the stuff that you can't control, don't give yourself a hard time about it, because if you can't control it, you'll just stress yourself.
Yeah, it is. I think that's the exact word. You're going to stress yourself down, and then you go away from that thinking process, and then you get into trouble and all that. And it's not healthy either. The more stressed you are, it does affect your health as well. So I think every issue, that every problem, there is a solution, and somewhere down the line. So I think it's to understand where that solution is, and trying to find that. So usually it's within your control, and once you understand it's not within your control, it's probably time for you to move on and do something else.
That's right. I love that. So you've created this record in cricket. You've played a lot of games, and now you're coaching. What's your next goal? What's your next big goal for Mahela?
Well, I don't, like, even when I was playing cricket as well, I never had these long-term goals or big things. I feel that it just, because for me, expectation is pressure. So when you put a lot of expectation on yourself, then you're adding pressure to yourself. So it's about little things. The coaching is something that I enjoy, because I I can engage back with the game that I loved. Because once you retire, you lose that aspect. So the coaching gives me that little bit of adrenaline rush that I needed from the sport that I love, and to give back to the game as well, to the next generation. But other than that, I mean, the businesses that I do and all that, I'm learning. It's fascinating that when you actually challenge yourself in a different field of stuff. I mean, the restaurant is just one aspect. We do a lot of other stuff as well. So that keeps you going, learning every day, and challenging yourself. So that's more fun. So I don't know. I mean, I'll see how I go the next 2 3 years, and whether I enjoy what I'm doing right now. And if not, then I'll do something else. But I don't have like big ambitions and big these things. Just to live life normal and just enjoy that.
You're just a down to earth, simple man. That's what I love about you, Mahela. My gosh. So, if you could choose three men that, or people, sorry, not just men, but three people who highly influenced you in cricket, who would they be?
Um, it's I think not just cricket but in life as well. I think the first person would be my father, because like he gave me that initial support, and to date, like like he's the one who, like, always questions the decisions that I take and not take. And so I think in a very positive way that he's influenced me towards finding the right path. And probably him. And I think the other, I can't just put another two people into that category. It's very tough, because there have been a lot of good people, especially with cricket, who had helped me over the years. My coaches at school, who gave me that initial guidance, and then a lot of international coaches who were part of the Sri Lankan setup, mostly Australians. They've been fantastic, and I've learned a lot from them. A lot of cricketers over the years that my teammates, who's been very positive influence in my development, and especially Sangha. Obviously, we grew up together playing cricket, and I think the friendship that we had over the years and to now, it's been something absolutely brilliant. So yeah, I think there's a lot of people that who's involved. So it's tough for me to say there's only three.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, thank you so much, Mahela. I know I promised 30 minutes, so I'm making sure that we finish in 30 minutes. And unlike what I said when I first met you, which was, "Hi, I'm Michelle Jones. I don't know cricket, so I'm sorry, I don't know who you are." I have to say, I know how amazing you are and what you've done. And we've just followed you. I mean, my family just loves how you play cricket. And more than anything, you as a person, you are what you are. You're very humble. You try and support as many initiatives as you can. One of them is the hospitals that's being built by, I forgot the name of the group. Oh my gosh.
Colors of Courage Trust.
Yes, that's right. That's right. So, again, thank you for joining us, and keep being you, and just, share with us what's going on, because we'll be there. We'll be following, everything that you're accomplishing.
Much, yeah. Thanks. Cheers. Say hi to everyone.
I will. Yes, I'm sure he's still there watching. He's got his meeting. So I shouldn't say it out loud, but thank you. Now, guys, Mahela's going to be leaving us, but please just say goodbye to our guests, Mahela.
Bye, guys. Thank you for joining, and all the very best. Stay safe. Cheers.
Awesome. Thank you, Mahela. Okay, so we're still here. Mahela's jumped out because he's got meetings that he has to do. And for those of you that have just been stuck watching without asking me questions, hey, send your questions over. I love what we discussed and what he shared about mindset and about, just being happy, learning how to enjoy the game, even in life, even in business. When you've been working too long, for example, or when you've been doing something too long, sometimes you lose the reason why you loved doing what you're doing. And more than anything, I think that's what we need to keep remembering, keep reminding ourselves why we do what we do, why we opted a certain business, a certain lifestyle, why we love sharing to people. Because sometimes, especially in situations like what we have right now, we forget that, and we fall to I would say, bad place of not remembering what was great about what you're doing. So whether you're in sport, you're in business, or whatever it is that you're doing in life, always remind yourself the great stuff that you've accomplished, the reason you love what you're doing, and what you're doing it for, or who you're doing it for. Because when you ask yourself those questions, you will always be reminded about how you love what it is that you're doing. So again, the same with sport. Mahela also shared about how they do meditation in their family, because, well, not just because it's a religion, but literally in Colombo, that is a practice. That is something that a lot of people in Colombo do practice. And it's something that I've learned helps you just calm your brain, calm and quiet what's happening around you, quiet the noise, the chaos, the fear, and just allows you to remember to center yourself, to balance yourself, and to ground yourself, so that nothing can shake you, so that you remember through your core, through your being, and grounded to the universe, that the universe will always take care of you. So despite of the dramas, despite of the things that's happening around you, you'll be okay. And what else did we learn from Mahela? So be humble. Isn't that what we all want to be? We all want to be humble. We want humility. We want to be able to just be happy for what we are, who we are, what we've done, not to expect too much more. Now, not to expect too much more is also different from dreaming. We all have our dreams, and clearly Mahela would have dreamt of becoming a cricketer. He didn't know how big he was going to be, but he loved cricket, and that was his dream. So don't stop dreaming, and dream big. You don't have to be afraid of your dreams, but don't push yourself and pressure yourself thinking that you have to do so much to make your dreams come true. Dream, believe that your dreams will come true, believe that the universe will deliver, and you will get your dreams without having to pressure yourself, without having to force yourself to do stuff that you're not ready to do. And, just smile and be happy. So, guys, thank you for joining us. I love the topics that we've discussed. And again, as I said, I don't know how cricketers do it, surviving under the heat. Family, which Mahela shared earlier, which is king coconut juice. So the juice that you get when you open a king coconut is actually one of those things that when I was in Colombo, I strongly urged everyone to be drinking. So if you have access to coconut juice, that's a really good way to hydrate yourself. It's got all the electrolytes that you will need, better than doing your Gatorade or your sports drinks, because it's all natural. Anything that's natural is always better than what is synthetic or what is made. So opt for whatever it is that's going to build yourself up. The other thing is hydrate. Hydration in places where it's so hot, Jakarta, the Philippines, places in Asia, India, Colombo, is really, really important, because if you don't hydrate well, you lose a lot through sweat. And you are 70% water, while you're more than 70% water. The different cells and organs of your body are made of water. If you don't keep replacing the water that you're flushing out through sweat, through peeing, then you're not replacing what your body needs to be able to function optimally. So remember, optimal health is a very basic thing. It's about you giving your body the basic necessities, which includes air, water, exercise. So sports is a great exercise. A good mindset is also one of those. And smile and have fun, because when you have fun and you're happy, actually, people who are hungry laugh and have fun, and you realize you don't get as hungry because you're happy. When you're happy, you don't need as much to keep going. So remember the basics and stick to the basics. It's not difficult to be healthy. If you guys have questions, do type your questions and let me know who you are and where you're joining us from. We are live from 5 different accounts. We are live on YouTube. We are live on the Best Diets Ever on Facebook, because we are talking about dietary lifestyles and recommendations. We are live on Longevity Insight, which is also the Modern Iridologist, because it's about health and wellness. We are live on my page at officialmichelletjones.com. Official Michelle T. Jones. And we are live on my Facebook page. So if you're joining us, doesn't matter where you're joining us, introduce yourself. And if you've got any questions, type it. Type it up so I can see it. Hi, Kuniko. Hi, Violi. Hi, Debbie. Thank you for joining us. Violi, thanks for joining us from the Philippines. I'm really, really excited to have you guys here. Did you enjoy that? Did you enjoy what Mahela shared with us today? I am going to jump to our other live to just see if there are any questions there. I think the reason why I'm not getting as much of the questions here is because we have so many different platforms we've gone live in. And let me just see how I can do it. But yes, please do share your questions. Let me know what you'd like answered. And if there are any questions that I can help you with, mindset, with diet, or with the interview with Mahela. Okay, I'm looking at Best Diets Ever. We've got 34 people that joined us in Best Diets Ever. No questions, guys. I can't believe you've got no questions. All right, check the Modern Iridologist. How many people joined us there or are with us there? Here we go. 22. Wow, awesome, awesome. So 55 people just between those two platforms. I am so, so excited and really humbled by that. Thank you. I really, really loved our Cuppa with Mahela. And as I said, it's something that Mahela, we've been planning. Haven't had a chance to do it. I haven't been able to fly back to Colombo. So just really happy that we've done it here. Wow, 80 people from my official page. Awesome, awesome. 135 just there. Okay, well, I am just going to go back to my main one, because it's only in my main one that I can't really see your questions when you type it up. So let's just see if there's anything else there. Okay, so looks like you guys don't want to ask me anything. I'm glad you're happy with our share, our Cuppa today. Join us again. we will be featuring other guests. I don't want to just give out their names straight away. I need to make sure that we've got the time slot pegged. So as you know, Wade joined us on Thursday. We were going to just do this every Thursday, but because we're talking to celebrities, people who are the top in their field and who are very busy, it's not always going to be possible to have it on the same day. Mind you, we will do a replay of this one on Thursday, just so that we can have everyone else that only tunes in on Thursday to actually watch them again. But thank you for joining me live. And I will have another guest that I'll be sharing with you for our live next week. Meantime, follow all the other episodes that we've had that talks about health, wellness, and achieving optimal health. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Have a great cuppa. Hope you've enjoyed your cuppa, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day. Bye-bye.